This Torah class is brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.
Okay, everyone, just some closing thoughts and closing message. It's been a real pleasure and honor being together with you for the last 7 days. What an amazing experience. What an incredible experience. I want to first begin by giving a big yasher kayach to Rabbi Glatstein for arranging and organizing this Nasiya Kadosha. Thank you very much, Avi. Tizkol HaMitzvos. Hashem should bless you. Shefa bracha v'hatzlacha, to be able to continue doing this and providing Yidden these incredible opportunities to connect with their heritage, and we should be able to come together for Simchas at Bias Goel Tzedek. I want to give a big thanks again to Yosef Safin, the Madrich. Thank you, Yosef, for dealing with us so courteously and for sharing your knowledge. Thank you very much. Bracha v'hatzlacha. I want to thank Yosef's brother, Zachariah Safin. Thank you. Thank you, Zachariah. God bless you. I want to give a very big special shout out to our excellent security officer, Zewi. He was very busy. He could have been on many movies this week, but instead he declined all his Hollywood offers to be together with us, to go to Kivrei Tzadikim. Thank you very much. I want to give Yasher Kayach. I want to say thank you to Sukran, to Said, the bus driver. Said means happy. So we wish him happiness, health, and success. Thank you very much. I want to give a big Yasher Kayach to a very special individual who probably had the hardest job, Reb Nassan Weldler, who has to sit on the bus balancing his elbow for hours on time. He can't move. Actually, before I hired him for this videography, I had him stand in front of Buckingham Palace. And after he passed that test, they had people to try to get him to laugh, to move, to blink. And after he was successful in that, he was hired to be the videographer. I want to thank Reb Nassan and share with you a number of the svarim that I used for this trip. First, I'm going to thank my friend Gedalia Schwartz. These are the first two svarim I used on Morocco. It's called Chachmei Morocco, 2-volume set. It's a pink edition, an excellent set on all these sages of Morocco. Also a set called Malchi Rabbanan. Malchi Rabbanan. I want to thank Reb Nassan for getting me the Sefer Kivrei Tzadikim Ba'olam that I used extensively by almost all of the Kvarim. It's called Kivrei Tzadikim Ba'olam Artzos Arav. I also used the Sefer Kedoshei Marrakesh, which is about 1,000 pages big, and also Matzeves Marrakesh, which is like a guidebook for tour guides. Thank you very much, Reb Nassan. I want to give a special shout out to the CEO and director of MNN Studios, Mr. Meir Glatstein, for his technical support and assistance. I want to give a very special Yasher Kayach, and what a great honor and pleasure it was to be together with Avi Mori. I'm sure all of you enjoyed his company and his insights and his Divrei Chachma and his humor, and especially the special Kabbalistic dances that he was noiheg based on the Masorah from Sachachav that you might not be familiar with. And I want to dovetail on something that my father mentioned last night, on two observations regarding Morocco. And I think it came as a surprise to many of us how cordial the Moroccan people are, and if we could add, how respectful they are to our customs and our practices and our way of life. And that's something that we express mutual appreciation for, and we very much appreciate that they gave us the ability to travel throughout the country and to visit our Mekoymes HaKadoshim. The other observation my father made was how prominently displayed the king was wherever we went. Even in by the Mekoymes HaKadoshim, by the Kvarim, you had pictures of the Abir Yaakov, the Baba Sali, and the king of Morocco. Even in one of the Svarim that I have on Rav Amram ben Duan, in the opening, in the title page, there's a picture of the king. And I think it's very important to note that these two observations really come together and are really one. The idea and the phenomenon of how cordial and respectful the Moroccan people are go hand in hand with the fact that they have a king that they respect and they accept upon themselves. And it's important to note that that's really the way of life that we aspire to and that we long for. The pasuk says in Shoftim, Perek Lamed Vav, pasuk Lamed Aleph, Bayomim hahem ein melech b'Yisrael, ish hayashar be'einav yasa. It says in the times of the Shoftim there was no Jewish king, and therefore everyone did whatever they wanted. And the Gemara tells us, be'ikvasa de Mashiach, before the time of the Messiah, chutzpah yaske, brazenness will be proliferated, brazenness will be widespread. And that's what we see in our society, that without a central authority, without a wise and benevolent king, then the character and the personality of the people goes sour. But we see in Morocco, where they honor and they respect a benevolent and wise king, so the personality is cordial, respectful, and b'derech eretz. And that's something we long for, because we say in Kiddush Levana, V'yikuyam banu mikra hakosov, ubikshu es Hashem Elokehem, ve'es David Malka. We don't only aspire to the Malchus Shamayim, but that the Malchus Shamayim should become manifest through the Malchus of Mashiach ben David. If I could give you, it's on January 1st, everybody has their year in review. If I could give you in a nutshell a brief review of our trip, mentioning some of the names of the Gdolim. And don't worry, I know you've heard many Shiurim and many Divrei Torah, and you say it's very hard to remember this tzaddik, that name. Let me just tell you, just by hearing the names of a Talmid Chacham and a tzaddik, it has an influence on you. The Chasam Sofer writes so beautifully on the pasuk, Vishamata Yisrael Vishamarta la'asois. Chasam Sofer interprets in Parshas Va'eschanan, Vishamata Yisrael. When you merely hear the name Yisrael, Vishamarta la'asois, it will endow you with the desire to observe Torah mitzvahs. So just by hearing the names of these Chachamim that perhaps we were unaware of, it elevates our neshama, it elevates our soul, it makes us more dedicated Yidden. So let's just review. We had the Baal Moznayim, the master of the scales, Mul Moznayim, this great tzaddik who he would pray using his scales because he dealt in business honestly. Reb Shlomo Abitbol, the author of Yafeh V'Tama, where we sang the piyut that night in Marrakesh. Rabbi Avram Azulai, the third Rabbi Avram Azulai. Rabbi Daniel Shomer Ashkenazi. We went to the kever of Rabbi Davidu Moshe, who gave up his life to stop the Magefa. We went to Rabbi David Abichatzera in Risani, who was Moser Nefesh al Kiddush Hashem. He was shot out of a cannon. Rav Masud Abichatzera, where we sang his piyut, Ashir Afaer. Rabbi Moshe Turjiman, the Rebbe of the Baba Sali. We went in Fez to Rabbi Yehuda Ben Atar, who the Chidah says about him, he was Solas Nikia, that the Chidah records the great miracles that happen for those who pray at his grave. We went to Salika, the Tzadeka Salika. Rabbi Vidal Hatzarfasi, who was 12th generation from Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbi Shlomo ibn Dinan, from the Dinan family. And this morning we went to Rabbi Raphael Alenkona and Sali. We went to the family of the Archaim HaKadosh. You think that you decided to come visit these tzaddikim. No, these tzaddikim invited you to visit them. These tzaddikim, they invited you to visit them. They wanted you to learn about them. They wanted you to pray by their kvarim. And because you paid them a visit, I guarantee you, watch it, this week, you paid them a visit, they're going to pay you a visit. You're going to come across in your learning a quote from one of these tzaddikim, and you're going to say, you know what, I can't believe it. I just went to their kever, and I never came across their teaching in my whole life. And all of a sudden, wherever I turn, I'm learning divrei Torah from them. So you visited them, and I am sure that Be'ezus Hashem, in good health, all your tefillos should be niskayim, should be niskabel. All the tefillos you offered, l'refuah, l'yeshua, l'zivugim, l'yeladim toivim, l'nachas l'kedusha. Ribban Shem should be mekabel all the tefillos, berachim u'beratzayin, shefa, bracha v'hatzlacha. Please join us, Be'ezus Hashem, this summer. We're going to be going on a spectacular tour of Spain, Amsterdam, and Portugal. So you could be the first to register. And until then, I wish you all bracha v'hatzlacha, abiyas goel tzedek, b'mher v'yameinu, amen.
You've just experienced another Torah class brought to you by TorahAnytime.com.